Welcome back to the CryptoLabs Passive Income YouTube channel. Still in Nashville, so excuse the background. Really wanted to do a video on realistic, and I'm going to get really real here, what you can actually earn in passive income through crypto DeFi and through all the protocols, the projects. Now, I'm going to be fairly conservative within this conversation, but I'm also going to hint on worst case, best case, and then you can get an idea of how much capital you actually need. And I'm bringing this up because this question gets asked probably every day. I get some email. How much do I need to start, or how much can I actually earn? And my answer to that is, you could earn $1 billion per day if you have the capital for it, but chances are we don't. My goal, I think what makes it worth it is when we have members, and every member who actually applies themselves to make $10 per day is not impossible. It's actually fairly easy, and you don't need a large amount of capital. And once you're making $10 or $20 per day, you can start rolling that over and really start building that bag while taking some profits. So for example, Wolf Capital is a great case study for that. Is everyone in the CryptoLabs Passive Income membership has now ROI. Now they're playing in pure profit, and they can get their initial out, and they've been doing between $20 to $50 per day. Now, if we zoom out and think job, $50 per day probably isn't that much. But if we think of it in terms of that takes you 1 minute per week to manage, $250 a week or $1,000 a month or whatever starts, in my mind, becoming a big deal because I didn't have to work for it. And that's where, and we'll get into some calculations here, I promise. Let me know in the comments too, if anything lands or if you have questions or if I can serve in any way, just let me know. Let's not make this a one-way conversation. Plus, when you leave a comment, you're entered into our weekly giveaway. So that's a bit of a perk and an incentive to actually get engaged here. But in my mind, I'm like, I like to spend money on dumb things. While we were in Nashville, we rented a Lambo. It's probably $2,000 a day with all the little fine print included. And I'm like, if I have to work hard for that, that bums me out to spend. But if I'm making some passive income, or if it's fairly leveraged income, then I'm happy to spend that. And the earned income you get, we cover this in our financial freedom formula course. It's $27. It's totally worth it. But we cover it in there where your active income, the income you work for, invest it. Don't spend it on dumb things. But the money you make from your investments or your passive income, it comes a little bit easier. That's where, if you choose to, you can spend it on enjoying things in life. So I'm going to pull up a calculator and we're going to run some numbers, some conservative numbers on what I know is attainable. I see it all day long, and I have zero doubt that if you applied some strategy, you could attain it as well. Right before we do get into that, I do want to let you know, until April 30th, which is Sunday, we have a 20% off your first month in CryptoLabs. I'm doing this because we had 3 or 4 members join this month who've been parts of other memberships, and they joined us, and they're like, I wish I found you sooner. And that gives me the drive and we want more people in there because we know it's changing lives. If you apply yourself, making 10, 15, 20% per month, making $1,000, $2,000, $5,000 in passive income is absolutely possible. And we want to lower or remove any excuses and entice you to join. So if you want 20% off your first month, we're only making 10 of these available. It is programmed within the coupon. So if you log in and it's no longer working, the coupons are all used up. You can use the code CashMoney at checkout. I will leave the link for the CryptoLabs Passive Income Membership /Underdog Investor Group below. Click it now, put in Cash Money on the coupon side of things. It'll give you 20% off your first month, and let's make you some passive income. There's no reason why you can't be making a couple $100s a month, and it'll more than cover our membership, and the membership is free. That's how we have it set up, and that's why we have people stay with us for as long as they do. Okay, that's that. So make sure you get in there. It's going to be over on Sunday, and we only have 10 of them. I like to aim for 15% per month. That's fairly conservative. Now, I know that sounds crazy if you are in traditional finance, but if we start looking, I'm like, okay, if I have $500 to invest and I take on just a little bit more risk. We had someone do 32% last week. Super high risk plays, and I don't recommend it. But if we do a investor profile, when you first join us, you do an investor profile and you get an idea of your risk tolerance and where you're at with that. But let's just say you do 20%. That's $100. Now, again, that may not be life-changing, but our first big goal is to get your membership more than covered. Okay, your membership is covered. Now it's free, and now you can really start expanding. Some people start with more than 500. Some people start with a little bit less. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter. The yield stays the same percentage-wise. So let's say you start with $1,000, and you go a little more conservative, and we're doing about 15%, boom, 150. But what is really interesting is compound interest is real, and it happens very, very quickly. And we have calculators that calculate compound interest and where you could be in 3 months, but you can double your bag every 3 months. So let's just say with compound interest and increasing the risk tolerance just a little bit, parking it in some low cap stuff. We did around 30% last month in low cap, like price appreciation, took some for profits. All things considered, I like to go by just a bit of a golden rule. And again, there's variables. It could be 4 or 5 months for you. Some people do it in 2 months. There's been projects that pay out 2.5% per day, and they last 30 days, 40 days, 50 days. What if you get in for 20 days and you make 40, 50%? I think Wolf Capital, we did 100%, doubled our money in 60 days. Gives you some idea of how fast you can grow this thing. And we've had people start with $500 and others sitting on 3-4 grand. For some, that may not seem like a lot. For others, that's life changing. Some start with 5 grand and they double, triple their bag in 5-6 months. Now they're sitting on 10, 15, 20. Now, again, there's going to be rug pulls. There's going to be losses. And I calculate that into my 10 or 15% projections. If I didn't calculate, and it'd be easy for me to sit here and be like, oh, you can make 50% per month. You can, but you're not taking into account potential losses and rug pulls. And so I just try to calculate it all together. And it's been a fairly consistent between 15 to 20%, sometimes 10% per month, which is insane when you break that down. And even if you only claim profit and you weren't compounding, you could see how quickly you can double your bag. Now, if you're compounding and if you're putting into more projects, compound interest effect, it takes its effect, it takes its toll, it works its magic really, really quickly. So if you're wondering, if you're like, hey, how much do I need to start? I would always answer, if you have $500 or more to start with. If you have 20 grand, I'd be like, you're going to start with 500 just to get comfortable. You're not going to blow it all. If you've got 50 grand, I'd still say the same thing. Hey, let's start with $500 or $1,000. But if you've got around that, you can absolutely play this game. Whereas in a lot of other investing opportunities, you need 10 grand, 20 grand, 50 grand, 100 grand. Sometimes you need to be an accredited investor. You don't need that in the crypto DeFi, at least the passive income game, the low cap game. We saw a 60% run on something a little while ago. We saw a 250% run, a 2.5x. I have it on the YouTube channel, and we took half profits, and it was like 100% in a few days. The opportunities are out there. It's just joining a community and being part of something where the opportunities are presented to you. I'm prepping in 20 minutes. We have our investor call, which we do every week or every 2 weeks, plus an investor doc. There's 6 new projects. There's 6 project updates. There's 5 new low cap stuff, and it's handed to you on a silver platter. It's 50, 60 hours of research. Here you go. And that's why, I think joining CryptoLabs and joining the Underdog Investor Group is a no-brainer. You could be the judge of that for yourself. If you do want 20% off your first month, just grab it, jump in. It's going to change your life if you apply yourself. If you just join and you think it's just going to happen without you clicking buttons and doing things or doing some work, it's not going to happen. I'll tell you that now. There's only 10 seats for this coupon code available. I have a feeling they'll go very quick. But if you apply yourself, you'd be amazed at how quickly you can change your life, your financial situation, and grow your crypto portfolio. I know that for a fact because I get to see it all day. I get to see it all day. And when you join, I think you'll see it very quickly as we celebrate people all of the time. Hey, I doubled my money. Hey, I had 150%. Hey, I just made 30%. Someone posted last week they made 10 grand within the first few weeks. And they're like, I didn't make that the entire past year of trying to do this stuff. I just made 10 grand, $10,000 in profits. And again, to some, that might sound like a lot. To others, it's not. Put in your own numbers, do your own calculations. And wherever you're at, I think crypto and DeFi gives all of us underdogs a very equal chance at creating and doing something. There's no bias towards who can and cannot play this game. We can all play this game, and it's why I love this space so much. So with that said, I'll leave you with that. If you've got $500 or more to start with, and you can think, 15, 20%, 25% if you're really pushing it. If you're playing on the safer side, then just calculate 10, 15% every month times 12. What is that over a year for you? It's ridiculous. And it's the game I love to play, and I've jumped in fully 12, 14, 16 months ago, and I haven't looked back since. So I hope you come play the game with us. With that said, I will leave you with this. Cash Money is the coupon code. Grab it before they're all gone. Get 20% off your first month, and let's go. That said, I'll put myself in the middle, and I will leave some other videos. Check out the coupon code, throw it in there, and then check out some other videos if you want to. Come join the Passive Income Investor Group, the Underdog Investor Group, and let's get to work playing this passive income game. With that said, I'm going to get out of here. Appreciate you. Peace.